Good evening. I got your question and I just wanted to shoot a quick video because that's just how I teach and it goes much easier this way. So great questions, by the way. You'd be amazed at how few students actually ask these questions before submitting assignments. It is honestly the best way to make sure you understand what's going on. So 3, F, G, and H. So we're dealing with exponent laws. Now, first thing to remember is that I can only use these laws when I have the same bases. For example, 4v times 4v3x. So my coefficients, the numbers, I can always do simplification with. And if I have a v variable in one side, and I have a v variable over here, those are the same base. Okay, so it's only when we're multiplying though. If I ever have a plus or a subtract in between, I cannot use my power laws at all. Okay, the other thing I want you to keep in mind is that if I expanded out f, if I write this out in the long form, I would have 4, and this number here says I have 3 v's. Literally, v cubed means 3 v's. Now in the second term, I have 1 v and 2 u's. Don't know why they use v and u. What a terrible, what a terrible thing to do. They look so similar. So when we're simplifying this, all we need to do is we're going to add them up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 v's, and I have 1, 2 u's. There's our answer. Right? So when the cumulative law also states that if I'm multiplying, the order doesn't matter. So this one here, I'm going to have 4v4 u2. Okay. So the nice thing about actually reaching out for help is I will solve it with you, or in this case, for you. Whatever I can do to help you move forward. Let's go to G. So that's the answer there. Okay, I won't give you the final answer on this next one. So remember here, this means here. Let me try a different highlighter. 4 divided by 3, well, I can't simplify that. We're going to leave it as 4 over 3 because I don't want decimals in this. So I'm going to have 4 over 3. All right. Now, the thing to think about is each different variable term. Right? So in this one, how many m's do I have on top? Remember, my exponent tells me. So on the top, I have 4. On the bottom, I have 2. The way you're going to simplify this is by, again, looking at how many you have on the top. If I have 4 x 4 divided by x to the 2, if I was to expand that out, I'm going to get 4. How many x's are on the top? It's 4. That's right. Exactly. I know you're not here. It's just how I'm used to teaching videos. How many do I have on the bottom? I have 2 x's. Now, from algebra, hopefully you did some algebra this last year, what we know is that if I have a number on the top and the same number on the bottom of my fraction, well, they cancel out. So here I'm left with 4x squared. Okay. Now, when we think about this, when we look at this a little more carefully, if I know that this is my variable combination, how can I get to 2 at the end? This is the power of a quotient law. So what it states is that if I have the same base, in this case my x, x4 divided by x to the 2, I am going to simply subtract the exponents, is going to be x squared. So down here, what you need to do is you've got m4 divided by m2. Well, that's 4 m's on the top divided by 2 on the bottom. Which can you cancel out? That's going to be your number. Now, in this case, it's going to be a positive 2, so the m is going to be on the top, m squared. If I ever get a negative exponent, let's say I get 4, I can't write over there, I'm running out of room. So I have 4x to the negative 1. This negative 1 means whatever's immediately to the right, that negative 1 literally means it's on the bottom. That's it. Right? So we may end up having one where you have to put them on the bottom. All right. Next, so when you're going through this, take a look at it. In my n's, I've got 3 n's on the top, 2 n's on the bottom. You have to figure that one out. And my p's. So you're looking at variable by variable. All right. Letter H. Now this one's, it gets a little harder because I have these negative exponents, but don't let them freak you out. Okay. It's not all that much different. Okay? Remember, how do I deal with the power or the quotient law. I am subtracting my exponents. Power of a product law, remember if I have x, or let's do it this way, 2 squared times 2 to the 4, what I'm doing there is I'm adding them. So we're going to be using both of those laws in this one. The big secret I have for you is this. Simplify the top and the bottom whenever you can before you move on. So let's just look at my top. Okay, I have one constant, or one coefficient, 3. So my 3 is going to stay. That's not going to change. I have 3 on the top. Next, we look at x's. I'll go to a different color, because color's fun. I have x squared and x. Now remember, this is power of a product law, so I have to add these. So this is going to be x squared times x to the 1. It's going to give me, well, how many? That's x, 2x's plus 1x, that's 3, x to the 3. So I'm going to get x cubed. Now what do I have to look at? What other variable do I have? I know it's weird to talk to me when I'm not there, or when you're doing this on your own. Trust me on this though. It works. So here I get y to the negative 3, and I'm multiplying that y to the 1. Okay, so this is y to the negative 3, and remember I have to add 1. So how many y's do I have in total? It's going to be y to the negative 2. Here's another way to look at that. Remember what we talked about just a minute ago. If I have y, and then I have y negative 3. Well, this is y to the 1. The negative 3 means it's beneath. So if you want to visualize this, I end up with y on the top. This here, these 3 are going to be down below. Now we can cancel these out. So y and 1y cancel out. I'm left with 2 y's on the bottom, which is also negative 2. Now the big thing is that they're going to ask you to write all of your exponents in positive. So if you see this, that means it belongs on the bottom. So here, last rule, power of a product on the bottom, xy squared squared. So if I have x squared squared, this squared means I have 2 inside the brackets. So that's x times x. This squared means I have 2 sets of brackets. So how many do I have total? Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 total. So the way we deal with anytime we have a power across a bracket is we're going to multiply it. All right? So with this one, you're going to have the 2 has to go to the x, that's x squared. 2 times 2 is y to the 4. So see if you can do that bottom one. If you're not quite sure, send me what you think the answer is, and we'll go from there. I hope this helps. And if not, let me know, and we can either chat tomorrow or Friday on a Google tutorial. And yeah, great job setting to catch up, and hopefully this gets you moving forward. Bye now.